Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the May general meeting of the CSRA Parkinson support group. For those of you on Zoom and Facebook and in the room that don't know me, I'm Bill Banks. I'm the president of the board. I have a request for a guest introductory MC. I will call you MC. Mary Ann, what did you say? Introduction individual to come up here. So if I haven't met you before, pleasure to meet y'all on Zoom and Facebook Live. Come and join our general meeting. We meet the fourth Tuesday of every month. Look forward to having y'all. Thanks for joining us today. Oh, well, she gives up here one last announcement. My email is on the newsletter. If you want to join the Pop Walk Planning Committee, it's a lot of fun. You don't have to do a lot of work if you don't want to. If you want to do a lot of work, you can do a lot of work. Please come and join us. So, without ado, I'm going to go over.
Is this okay? Yeah, I have a pleasure in this. I've worked for some time now with her profession because she runs a Parkinson line on the work out from work. If we do a little background of her, that's where she grew up. She was born in Turkey, in Istanbul, Turkey. Not a military family, which most of us would think so, but with an American. So that's a unique beginning. And somehow she ended up in Miami and went to high school there. Then went on to Florida State. And I'm sure all that time she got, that's what she really got into swimming, because then she taught swim teams. And I was always delighted to hear her talk about the synchronized swimming, which she was involved with. That's what we did. So she's been teaching swimming for 58 years. Doesn't look like it, but that's, she's been around that long. She started here at the Y 12 years ago. And no, back in more than that, 20 years, because 12 years ago she started the program that school. And that was at Grady School. Grady School is a unique place in Augusta. It's a therapy that demonstration start in the beginning on the instructional industry. And so the channel that you know is Gloria Thomas.
Can you hear me all right? Okay, I run the adaptive college program. My background is totally, I've been swimming all my life, 20 years, everything. In 1993, I started working for the county running all the swim lessons. And I had a young man on my swim team that had cerebral palsy. That's what got me interested in all the adaptive program. In 2001, to the wheelchair sports games. He wasn't in a wheelchair, he was classified as classification 7 in the federal commitment. He set 17 national records, so he was recruited by the Paralympic swim team, and he ended up going to the Paralympics. That's what got me so interested in working with disabilities. I worked for the county for a while, trying to do a little program, and worked out to good, say I'm taking 3 hours a week, and I didn't want that. And I also decided to go back to school and get my degree in exercise science, which at 8 years I went to, and they allowed me to do all my research on water compared to life. So it was kind of neat to let me specialize in what I wanted to do. So the adaptive aquatic program is the biggest thing is improving the lifestyle benefit all here in this village. We work with anything you can think of. And so it's hanging here, so. What is adaptive aquatics? It was simply aquatic exercise adapted to benefit an individual affected by disability. Cognitive or physical. Now, here's a little history for you. For thousands of years, adaptive aquatics only meant adaptive swimming. Regular strokes, horizontal skills with the ability of the individual to specific routes. So they learned how to swim. In the 20th century, though, aquatic programs were the number one participation activity in the U.S. for disabilities. With 10 to 12% of the population affected by disability, now in the 21st century, though, programs need to expand. The family-wide adaptive aquatic program I started has extended their boundaries to adapt any type of aquatic exercise. Vertical, horizontal, benefit an individual affected by physical and cognitive disability. So we like the cognitive kids, autistic spectrum, all that, we work with them individually. Step to swim for our adults, most of us have some sort of ailment or slight disability or weakness, so we go ahead and start our dance program. And now our adaptive aquatic evaluation, when someone comes to us, what we do first is evaluate. We get them in the book and actually work with them individually. We work on balance, walking, generally just to say the rules like we evaluate. Also, which exercises the client already know, how to work with them individually. Also, we go over any exercises that may not be good, like those are the different things that you don't want to teach a crossover concept. Some of you remember when we did advance the grapevine, we crossed over, well, you don't do that at a different. So advise people on what exercise to do. Our adaptive special populations program is our one-to-one continuing type program. We have a number of people, everything from father teachers to autistic kids, work with them individually. And use a lot of students come from the state university and do their internships with me, and then I hire them to work for me. So it's a really good thing that we have here. That's why I do a lot of my instructors. I also have instructors that come from a swimming lesson background, so which helps. One of the reasons our program has been so successful is we actually are able to get patients from the hospitals. Doctors send us to work with at the insurance stop, and they need a place to continue their exercises. In 2010, we were able to open a school, their pool. It's a 60-foot long, 30-foot wide pool with a 0 entry ramp. So we have people in wheelchairs, we have down the wheelchairs that we have into the pool. We also have a lift, Shirley's type lift that actually moves them up under the arms, under the legs, or their wheelchair. Cool. The girls don't like that. It's the legs part. Guys love it. This is almost like a ball. They have fun. So we do that for our difference. We have a number of quadriplegics and teens, stroke, and so samples. And it's really exciting to see. We also have our adaptive swim team for our kids. They get together on Saturday morning, and they also swim together. And they swim about 1,000 yards each Saturday. And so they develop a lifestyle of swimming, which is great for them. And most of them are autistic. Down syndrome, some of our kids have gone on high school swimming teams, because we taught them 3 of the 4 strokes. Usually the butterfly does not come in, but we did have come down syndrome girl, but we swim at 100 young butterfly at every high school swimming team. So, yeah, it's amazing. Kids can do it. We also have times which are called adaptive rehab times. Those adaptive rehab times, means that people that have gone through the initial evaluation or have been with us a while, who come to do exercises on their own, and let them actually come in for an hour, 3 times a day. We do that at 6:45 to 7:45, 12:30 to 1:30, and then 6 to 7 in the evenings. So we have those special times set aside for people that can do things on their own. We also have muscle toning class on Tuesday, Thursday evenings, and that is mostly water, with balance, with muscle tone. And the way we work balance with water is we actually have to stand on moves and we do water. And we're stand if you can't, you're going to do it before. So it really helps balance work. We also have adapted water pool parties. A lot of the smaller kids and parents like to have a pool party for them, and we just find that fun and that instructor so that we have it. We have physical therapy that comes out of the doctor's hospital, we're developing treatment programs. We have also pediatric power and proactive physical therapy that brings clients to our pool. Therapy. A lot of those transfer to our program, and most of them do not have ongoing physical therapy, which is kind of sad, but that's the way it is. So just understand. And we have specific times for that, for the PTs to come in and use our pool. They contract with us to use our pool. Now, we used to, just so you know, we used to have Parkinson's MS class, but when COVID hit, all of that went down. We may try to get that back, but we have not had enough requests. I've got only 2 people that really come to the pool that are part of Parkinson's right now. We used to have 10 with the MS and Parkinson's and Lyme. So if we get more requests, we will try to get that scheduled. One of those things. Add one thing on as things have gone back to normal or almost normal within every time. So it's one of those things. Now, understanding water, buoyancy, it reduces stress on the joints, increases independent movement, reduces joint and muscle pain. Now, one of the big things people don't realize about that is buoyancy not only helps and the water itself, is actually allows no compression from gravity. So you're actually, there's an upward force on buoyancy. So your circulation is affected on your body, your veins and capillaries specifically. It's really cool, you know, it's like wearing headphones of your whole body. So it helps your circulation, which means greater cardio output, healthier. It also increases the range of motion. When you allow a joint to separate, you have better range of motion. With gravity, all our joints, when we stand up, are being pulled down. If you've ever taken your height first thing in the morning, like after the evening, your height is a half inch shorter. All day long, you lose height because it's compression from gravity making us down. It also reduces pain and inflammation. You do sweat in the pool. You sweat 6 ounces of perspiration every hour you're in the pool. So that means you're dehydrated. When you pick a spoon up, you are actually pulling up because dehydration at burn. And people don't realize that. So understanding why is that waist steps, I'm 50% of my weight. If I'm 50, I'm only 20% of my weight. So my body likes to do that because I don't have that cord line going down all the time. So we actually, for people that have problems with being weak, it's easier to move. When you're moving against gravity, all your muscles are working upward. You're having to pull against that gravity. Well, in the water, you actually have to push yourself down. So you're working the hamstrings rather than having to just work one set of muscles. I told somebody the other day, one of the reasons we have quads, which are called our 4 separate muscle groups, is on the front of our legs because it has to have that much to work against gravity. We only have 3 hamstring muscles groups on the back of our legs because we don't need as much on the back. That is the reason because we work against gravity all the time. But in water, we can strengthen both areas because there's multidimensional resistance. Pool temperatures. Understanding that pool temperature for their pool runs between 89 and 94. The reason for that is we simply, if it's warmer, the muscles relax more. So especially with those with disabilities, they can stretch better. Movements of the water are also only 1/4 speed of land. So if I'm uncoordinated in the water, since I'm doing slower, I can just walk and actually get the walk correct. The Parkinson's has the gradient kinesia where you shuffle a lot. In the water, the shuffle goes away because it is plus the pressure of the water under the why you know where the body is in space better. So those things are very interesting. Now understanding why we have the temperature warmer, it helps. But also understanding the recreational lessons are 82 to 88 degrees usually. And swimming is 77 to 82 over because they're doing thousands of yards of swimming. It's like for every 100 freestyle is equal to running a 400 freestyle run. So that's the wonderful relationship that people don't realize about. Then we've got some more properties of water that make it special. The hydrostatic pressure, which above, because that pressure makes, especially my quadriplegic stroke, all of them feel things more in water than they do on land, because the pressure actually helps them feel. Your joints, because they're separated more, because you've got and a pressure like 10 moves on. So it cushions the joints like they established. Unloads the supports each joint and balances and helps you balance all around. Improves your range of motion because equal pressures releases joint actions. On land, we have a lot more pressure on the knees, on the hips, because we've got gravity center. But in the water, if we release that, we've got equal pressure on all parts of the body. So move better. Improving the circulation of the blood, and also means better vascular resistance is reduced by 30%. Venous return is increased by 32%. Cardiac output. Increased blood flow also provides more efficient cleansing of waste products from muscles and tissues. That one thing is going to be angiotensin hormone because your kidneys distribute more urine is higher in the pool. That's why after a half hour in the water, you got to go pee. And I tell my parents, go take the kids to pee. Do not let it be in my pool. So understanding that's a normal thing that happens. And some kids will jump in and 5 minutes later. So let parents know it's something that happens because of the pressure of water on our bodies. You will improve your oxygen consumption because you exhale better. If you have pressure here and pressure here on the chest, you're going to exhale better. If you exhale better, you get better oxygenation. So you get more O2 into your body and pressure too, which is great. So you get better contraction of the diaphragm and the intercostal muscles of the chest. So exercising the water does help your whole oxygenation and lung capacity. Swimmers are notoriously known for having the largest lung capacity of any athlete. So if it works for them, we need it for all of us. Also reduces spasticity because it improves circulation, reduces your muscle spasms. The only thing that happens that we gotta be careful with is if you're dehydrated, your #1 reason for cramps is dehydration. So you want to stay hydrated. If you're going to be at the beach or in a pool anywhere for an hour or two, or taking grandkids to the pool and all, you want to make sure you drink plenty of water. Because it's better to drink the water and dehydrated than it is to have a muscle cramp. And so understand that. The other thing that's really good Okay, multi-dimensional resistance, that's what I was talking about. When in the water, if you move your arms forward, you got resistance, you move your arms back, you got resistance. You move them down, you got resistance, you move up, you got resistance. So every muscle group in the body will work for it. On land, it's hard to make that. A lot of people just see using that machine here to do their triceps. In the water, you don't have to get overhead, because the minute I go overhead, having more pressure, trying to get blood up to those fingers. So your blood pressure goes up. Whereas in the water, you can do it without having to raise your heels above your head like that. Same movement of muscle tone. Then also, in terms of muscle groups, in a group, it doesn't just work one little muscle, it works all in one unison group. Turbulence and currents, just on that last one. If you have somebody, and I use this a lot with my people that are learning to stand, I'll stand next to them when they're holding themselves up, and I'll take water and swish the water around them to make them off balance, to try to get them to really work that core more. You can do that in the water, if they fall, they're not gonna break a leg or a hip, or an arm. But in the water, they may get a mouthful if they fall, they're not gonna hurt. So there's a big difference there on fear also with this, understanding that this helps people get better. Then also, the skin is stimulated. I have one girl that I started with when she started, she was quadriplegic, and we started with me just helping her move her arms up and just doing a little motion like this, like flying, with her legs, we call it. And as we went along, she was able to do that. But then we were trying to get it higher because she was a C4, C5 quadriplegic. And we got it to the point that I could move her hands up here, but then I just held the back of her head. And she was through the water, able to move it, like me just touching the back of the side. So that stimulation all the way from the beginning to the end with the water pressure definitely helped get her to be able to swim out of the pool on her back. Then also you got drag resistance, and because water is in the air, I can move my arm all over the place. But in the water, you got that resistance all the time. So it makes a difference. And if when I played teach a water aerobics class, I used to teach a lot, but I don't do that much anymore. But I used to have people drag. They take two wheels, and one person would be pulling and walking, and the other one would be just floating and dragging along to give them a little more strength in their legs work. So there's a lot of ways the water can be used that you can't do very well. And then these are all the disabilities now that we work with. We work with amputees, cancer, fibromyalgia, replacements, muscular dystrophy, quadriplegics, paraplegics, traumatic brain injury, arthritis, cerebral palsy, genetic disorders, multiple sclerosis, and Parkinson on there too. I'm reading another sheet here. Stroke, and many, many others. I have some rare disorders that we work with, which is really interesting, genetic ones, and also these are that physical, and we also work with Alzheimer's, autistic spectrum disorders, which is a lot of very different ones, behavior disorders, dementia, developmental delays, Downs, Fragile X, and other genetic disorders. So these are all the ones that we have at the Y. Now I just brought some fun pictures here to show you some people. This is a young girl that we could teach how to swim. You remember her, Christy? And Christy Epps was a traumatic brain injury. She's got a waist belt, a jogging belt on for the weights, and she's got livers on her feet to help her learn how to kick. And so she was able to get more power and do backstroke. Here's another young lady that's a quadriplegic, and what we did is we put her at the number 1 level was no low view, which used. Now she was on number 2 level. That she starts with her middle under the knees, and my arms are acting like parallel arms, and she's wrapped her arms on, and she's actually pushing with the forearms on my arms to push that needle down. These are called our pool sit-ups, and get her legs to go down. Because how else are we going to work the developmental system? She can't lift herself up and do sit-ups, but in the water, she can do it. So it's an amazing technique that we have fun with. And those are things that we do. There's some more. These are ones that a paraplegic that's walking there, and the other one quadriplegic that's learning to balance sitting, just on the steps. And see the guy in front of him is actually pushing water towards him to help push the balance issues. So this is all to be done in the water that you can't really do on land. And I love it. I love what it does, because I feel it's God's miracle for us, and we just don't use it enough. And then here's a group. This was MS group and a Parkinson's group that we were working on different things, and working on balance, stepping up, stepping down, all of it. And also doing arm exercises where they literally have to learn how to swing a bat, which is going to work your whole balance in the water. So, and golfing, yeah, we have a golfing swing too. We're doing both. Now this one's interesting. I have 3 people affected by cerebral palsy, and as you can see, one's just enjoying, the other 2 holding them. Well, that's our child that has cerebral palsy. But for him to rest and not be active, this is a hyperactive kid that will get in the water just enjoying it. The young man on the right-hand side actually was one of our clients. He also had a hip replacement, and so he was getting back, but he was mild cerebral palsy. And the one on the other side is our parallel. The tall, thin one is our parallel. And actually, he worked for me for a while, and now he's working full-time job at the moment that I'm. But he spent 12 years going back and forth from Colorado, swimming on the parallel team, and he deserves it. So I did find an article today that I thought was interesting. Obstacle training provides improved freezing of gait in Parkinson's disease patients. This just was a randomized study. Both groups of patients had improved primary outcomes after the training program. A between group comparison of changes revealed that the obstacle aquatic therapy was significantly higher for the freezing of gait of the clients. So also they did time up and go test, I think. So they actually found out that yes, it definitely made a difference. So obstacle training is very effective in the water to help, because most people are not going to try to do obstacle course that are Parkinson's, because if they fall, they injure themselves. In the water, it doesn't. So there's that fear factor which stiffens you up. Think about it. If you're afraid, just stiffen up. So they found out that this definitely works. And I did a small study with the PT school that you went to when Jason was there. They did a study on Parkinson's that they looked at us Hitchcock Center. And they definitely saw some results on the grade, which it was definitely not in the water as prominent as it was on land. So if you guys want to tell your friends or anybody that I'd love to see them come to the pool, we can work with them and get them moving. And I love what the Lord does. I feel it's God's given us. Thank you for this thing, and God bless you all.
I think we're going to open it for questions if you're okay answering some. And I'm going to grab the wireless mic so I can walk around the room. But I will kick us off. If anyone wanted to do a private,
Everything is fine. Everything is one-on-one. And all the lessons are done one-on-one. We don't do any group classes things right now. Now, we did have a group class at one time. Parkinson's class. But
how would someone go about signing up?
they would call me, and I do need someone up from the doctor's saying it's okay to exercise at 9 degrees water. The reason for that is if you have super unrelated blood pressure issues, Parkinson's, that can go up and down a lot, and we want to make sure we know it. Because that's one thing for And it's not like a hot tub that you feel is bad, it's just we want to be cautious. Since I don't get blood pressure, if my pool is 94 degrees, I would have to take blood pressure on it. At 90, we don't. So that's the way that's handled.
You sign agreement that they won't go to that, right?
Well, we have a sign that says sharks will smell peas, so don't. Yes.
Clarification on something I thought I heard you say, that cardiac. Cardiac output is increased by the effective.
30%.
30% increase in cardiac efficiency, or?
Yes, efficiency. Yeah, because your veins and capillaries in the water are not pressed, pulling down everything. You've got the buoyancy and pressure helping you circulate back through the body. So if you're submerged up in here in the water, you get 30% more function from your heart. So it's an amazing health thing. There's so many healthy things that people don't realize. When you are perspiring, that's getting rid of toxins. The kidney level, flushing your body, getting rid of those toxins and getting it fresh is so much healthier for us. Oxygenation, fresh on our chest. So we feel that. If you think about it, I now have a baby in the pool that had a spina bifida. The spina bifida surgery was done at 25 weeks old in the womb. The results is 70% of children that have that operation in the womb actually are able to walk. The ones that don't, that wait till they're born, only 20% walk. The same operation done earlier in water in the womb. If God made the earth 2/3 water for a reason, I'm a strong Christian, and I know that the water is healing. And 2/3 of the miracles in the Bible were done in water. Any other questions?
I did. I was just wondering if there's opportunities to come and try it out free of charge, and if sometimes gyms provide that.
We usually don't in the pool, because we want to make sure we have somebody with the instructor. And then if the eval kind of does that, you don't have to be a member to do the evaluation, you just have to be, and there is a fee for the evaluation, it's $35 once a year. We want everybody to make sure everybody's safe, be in the water on their own, for those that want to go on their own. And for those that we need to have special equipment for, just have what equipment is needed and everything. I have one person that is a one teacher that I have to put the jogging belt on, but you're here instead of just on the back. She has no movement on one side, but she's classified as quad because both sides were affected when she moved. So you have to figure out how to work. Amputees the same way. So everybody's, it'd be a little hard to have that, just try it. Okay. Any other?
Yeah, quick question. It's a progressive disease. Some of us are very early in the disease. Some of us are very advanced in the disease. At what stage in Parkinson's do you begin to treat people? You begin to let people into your system? And at what stage do you think it's helpful?
All parts are helpful, all parts, no matter what stage you're at. I have MS patients at Parkinson's both. I have young ones. I have an MS patient that's only 34 years old and been diagnosed for 7 years. That means at 27 years old, she's told she had MS. And she's in the water every day because she knows that's what life is. She's a school teacher. Imagine having MS. She's school. Middle school on top of that. So, very Parkinson's, same idea. It's, you want to do it, and you make it a lifelong habit. I'll be 70 worms. I don't feel my personal water.
Happy early birthday.
Yes.
Does anybody else have any questions?
I can testify only one different. My therapy, went from Florida with this first. It was just I just had joints that have to be replaced, and you know, my back's bad, my vertebrae were replaced. So the Lord helped me out a lot. For the past 4 months, I have not been able to be there, and I'm hurting all over. I went back for the first time last week. It was such a blessing. It is easier in the water. Better than actually can move and feel like we do get somewhere, and we can't do it on the land. So yeah, for anybody, it's good to do.
Anyone else?
Yeah, where is it?
That's why that has to take school, it's on, Mill Road, right across from Charlie's Restaurant. Mill Road,
in Augusta.
Wilson Family Water.
Augusta.
Huh?
Yes, Augusta.
Yeah, Augusta, yeah, it's Augusta. In fact, the therapy pool, Hicks Pool is the largest community-based therapy pool in the whole southeast. And in fact, Shepherd Hospital, told somebody, they said to me, that her pool is better than ours. And Shepherd has bigger pools, so that tells me I'm blessed. And our pool is not.
Well, thank you for joining us today. I do have this, it's not very appropriate, it's better when it's get a golfer, and more sense, but this will keep you dry outside.
Yeah, but I need to stay out of the sun. So this is definitely a problem.
We planned that, that was strategic.
That worked, because we don't think about teaching swim lessons younger. I didn't realize when in the water, throwing water in the face too long, that water would take off the sunblock. And I built up 3 little basic cells to explain this at that time. So this does work for me.
Well, good, perfect. Well, thank you for joining us. And anyone here or via Zoom and Facebook Live want some more information, please check us out. I'll post a link to y'all in the comment section. And if nobody has any other questions, please feel free to more food. Thank y'all for joining us this evening. There's we can have a car accident to attend with. Thank the Lord. So I hope y'all will come back next month. Thank you everyone for joining us via Facebook Live and Zoom. And we look forward to seeing y'all. If you have any questions for me or anyone else associated with the support group, sign up for the newsletter. My contact information is in there. The rest of the board's contact information is in there. And once again, not something for broken record, but if you'd like to assist in any way with the pop walk, please feel free to reach out and join the pop walk planning committee. Of course.
One of my instructors used to be Nathan Buddy.
Oh, okay.
He worked for me for about a year and a half, almost 2 years. It's in the water. So if you want any questions, ask him. He enjoyed it too.
Yeah, so Nathan will now link his personal cell phone number. But if you want to help with the pop walk at all, even just attending on the day of, helping those with Parkinson's, kind of get to the starting line, helping hand out T-shirts. I mean, there's really something for everyone. Or if you want to be just a fundraising master, by all means, come on board. So thank you again, everyone, for joining us. Again, my name is Logan Banks. Thank you so much, Claudia, for joining us. Have a nice night, everyone.